Before getting into that, before getting into that subject, I want to say one thing. Please don't call our Bharatanatyam as dance. Dance means what are the physical movements we are having. All these things are coming under dance. But Bharatanatyam is not dance alone. It is not having only the body movement alone. If you are not going to concentrate the meaning of the song and your body movement and what the bhava you want to produce on your face all together, then only it is called Bharata. Right? So dance is a general term. So don't call our Indian any classical dance as dance. If you are going to talk about Bharatam, talk about Bharatam. Say it is Bharatanatyam. If you are going to talk about Odissi, tell the name of the dance name is Odissi. Don't put the dance forms in general term, especially Indian classical performing art forms. Right. First of all, I want to say the word thanks to everyone, because you are all interested in Bharatanatyam and as well as in research. Because most of the Bharatanatyam artists are interested only in performance. They do not want to do any research in Bharatanatyam because research is the basic thing for every art form. People may ask, what is there in Bharatanatyam? Why we have to conduct research on Bharatanatyam? What the relevance it is having? All these things I am going to give a very nice and very clear picture about the research and the Bharatanatyam. Because every performing art form should have a research platform. Without a research platform, it is not possible for you to perform. Why? Because every performance arts is having not only its own area. Without the supporting area, you can't conduct any research in the performing arts, especially in Bharatanatyam. If you want to conduct research, you have to understand certain other subjects also. What are they? One is anthropology. Without knowing the anthropology, you can't get into the dance field. It means you can't get into that Bharatanatyam field. As a researcher, I am saying. Number two, history. History is highly essential for any performing art form. Third one is ethnology. Nowadays, ethno music system is developed, ethno art form is developed, ethno language system is here nowadays. So ethnology is most important thing for performing arts. Without ethnology, you can't perform. Then I will give you the example for every subject. Then fourth one is called semiotics. Semiology means it's the science of symbol. It is the science of gestures. Without semiotics, you can't perform the Bharatanatyam. So fourth subject is called semiotics. So then fifth one is sociology. Whatever the thing you are performing in that Bharatanatyam, without any socio influence, you can't perform not even a single thing. So these are all the 5 pillars for Bharatanatyam. Then only you can think about the research in Bharatanatyam. You have to learn all these subjects a little. What is anthropology? Anthropology means it is a subject which deals about the origin of man and its man's culture. So without the culture, you can't perform your Bharatanatyam. For example, the primitive man, he was able to survive by way of hunting the animals. Right? The primitive man, he was a hunter. So he was hunting the animal for his survival. While he was doing the hunting job, he used to move in the forest. So by way of moving, he used to do the steps. If he is going to find the animal in a bush, without the knowledge of that animal, he wants to kill that animal. For that, without making any sound, he is approaching the bush either by stepping or either by stretching or either by jumping. All these things we developed into our dance as adavus. What do you mean by adavu? The term is not adavu, is not right. The term is known as adaivu. Adaivu means to reach. Adaidal, in Tamil to reach. For example, in Tamil, we are saying if a person dies, what we are saying in Tamil, he reached the Sivaloka Padavi. Sivaloka Padavi Adaindar. Adaindar means he reached the golden feet of the Lord. So Adaivu means to reach. So while you are doing the Bharatanatyam, with the help of the footwork, you are moving from one spot to another spot. So how you are moving, if you are going to jump to that spot, it is called Kudita Adaivu. If you are going to stretch your leg, it is called Knot Adaivu. If you are going to skid, it is called Circle Adaivu. If you are going to move in the side way, it is called Pakkavatu Adaivu or Pakka Adaivu. Everything is based on your movement. Where we learned all these movements? Only from the primitive man, then while he was doing the hunting in the forest, how he was moving. From that details only, we are learning how to move from place to place or how to move from point to point. Every movement is having a meaning. Nowadays, most of the Bharatanatyam teachers are not willing or not interested to communicate the Adaivu also having the meaning. Adaivu also having the emotion. You have to teach to your student. That's the most important thing. See, in the medieval period, a famous slogan in Sanskrit. Niruttam Bhava Vikinam in Sanskrit. While you are doing the nirta, that should enhance the bhava. It is not supposed to let down the bhava. They have to enhance or embellish. For example, how you may ask a simple question, how the adaivu will enhance the bhava. Very simple example. You are sitting in your drawing room. Someone is coming to you to see you. While they are entering into the main entrance, they slip. If that person is slipping away, he is going to fall. According to the person, your action will be changed. If it is a child, you want to rush to the child to rescue the child. It is your elderly father, automatically you want to jump and go and hold your father. So according to the person, you are changing your Adaivu system. So Adaivu is also having the meaning. Adaivu is also having the emotion. So you have to teach to the students everything we are learning from the Adaivu movement only. That's why with the help of the footwork, we are using lot of thalams. If it is in Tisram and Misram, you are thinking the subject is in a lighter vein. But if it is in Kanta Nadai, automatically you are knowing it is having some sort of a defense form of moving. It is a form of retaliation. Kanta Nadai means in the war front you are using the Kanta Nadai. Why? According to that only you are keeping your steps. So every step movement is having the emotion, having the meaning. It embellished the meaning of the entire song. Where we learned it only from the primitive man. So without touching the anthropology, don't think about the Bharatanatyam. Whatever the legworks you are having, there are 3 types of legworks so far classified by the ancient Tamil scholars. One is called Vadugu, second one is called Desi, third one is called Singalam. We were having 3 different steps or 3 different leg movements. What is Vadugu? Vadugu means classical. Where we are getting the details, we are getting the details from Silappatikaram. Silappatikaram is one of the ancient epics in Tamil, which deals about dance and music. In Silappatikaram, the commentator says about Vadugu, Vadugu என்பது மார்கின் பெயரே. What do you mean by Vadugu? While you are performing the Margam form of performance in Bharatanatyam, that is known as Vadugu. So that Vadugu style of performance is having a separate leg movement. It is rightly mentioned in one of the Tamil treatises called Panjamarabu, written by Arivanar in the period of 5th century AD. You can go and verify that book. It is there in that book. Arivanar says it is the leg movement for Vadugu. Vadugu form of performance. These are all the leg movements are there. He mentioned 14 types of leg movements. Then what is Desi means folk form of performance. Desi means folk form of performance. In that folk form of performance, there are 22 varieties of leg movements. What he says that Arivanar, you are not supposed to use the folk form of performance, folk form of leg movements in the classical form. But at the same time, you are not supposed to use the classical form of movement in the folk form. You have to perform separately. You are not supposed to mix the things. If you are going to mix the both, that one is known as a Singalam. What do you mean by Singalam? Singalam is the name of Ceylon in olden days. They used to adopt the dance form from Tamil Nadu only. And they are having their own idea of performance. So they do not want to adopt either the Vadugu or the Desi. So they put the two things in a mixed form and they started to have their own leg movements. So what the grammar authority says, Singalam is not having any separate leg movements. The mixture of the two, they used to perform in their dance form. Even if you go and see the Kandi Nadanam of Singala, you can easily understand some of the leg movements are Desi and some of the leg movements of Margi. Even now you can see it. That's the traditional dance form of Singalam is known as Kandi dance. And Modi Kuttu also there in Singalam. You can go and see that Sri Lanka based Tamil people used to perform the Modi Kuttu. It is totally a folk form of performance. There are two types of Modi Kuttus are there. One is called Vada Modi, another one is called Ten Modi. Both the Modi Kuttus are having only the folk form of leg movements. All these things we are getting only from the primitive man. Even the Sthanagas, we are all learning Sthanagas in Bharatanatyam. We are saying 6 Sthanagas are there. Alidam, Pratyalidam, Vainavam, Mandilam, Swastigam. All these Sthanagas we learned only from the primitive man. Because the primitive man, while he was doing his hunting job, he used to do his bow and arrow. How he is operating the bow and arrow, simply go and watch them. All the bow and arrow movements are based on your Sthanakas. So from that people only, from that primitive man only, we came to know what is Sthanakas in Bharatanatyam. So without knowing that anthropology, what we are doing in our Bharatanatyam, the leg movement, even all the Ankigam movement, while you are walking, if you are using two different astas, one is called Nirta astas, another one is called Abhinaya astas. Leave alone the Abhinaya astas. All the Nirta astas, how you are moving your hand gently, gracefully, beautifully, all these things you learned from the primitive man. That is the main reason that our Bharatanatyam is having the liveliness, because it is not ignoring the men's movement, but we are not adopting anything from the divine. Only in the book only we are saying the dance is given by Lord Nataraja. It is not so. It is not so. We learned everything from the primitive man, generation wise. Generation wise, we are cultivating ourselves. We are just going on correcting ourselves, and finally we are having the end product is as Bharatanatyam. That's all. So without knowing the anthropology, you can't do anything. Second, we will come to sociology. Without that social input, you can't perform any number of songs. Whatever the song you are doing in Bharatanatyam, even the Alaripu, the Jadiswaram, the Kautvam, the Saptam, or the Varnam, Padam, everything is having the social influence. I will give you one detail. What you are all doing as Kautvam in Bharatanatyam of today, what do you mean by Kautvam? Do you know the exact meaning of Kautvam? Kautuvam means, now we are saying in a Sanskrit style of pronunciation. It is not a Sanskrit word at all. Please understand it. It is a word from Tamil text. It is called Kavituvam. Kavi means poet. Poet is describing certain thing through his poem. Why he is describing? Because in those days, king used to come to the street on procession. What are the important days for their procession? There are 3 important days for them. One is their birthday. That is called Nal Mannu Mangalam. That is their birthday celebration. Second one is Val Mannu Mangalam. That is when they assume to the power, that day is celebrated by the public. That is called Val Mannu Mangalam. Third one is Kudumi Kalainda Mannu Mangalam. Whenever they are going out for a warfare, after gaining the victory, the king will come on procession. That is called procession for victory. All these 3 incidents rightly appreciated by the poet. If the king is on procession, people are not knowing what is the reason for that procession. Immediately poet will start to say, this is the birthday of the king. The Kavi is explaining, Kavi is introducing the details of the procession to the public. So that is called Kavituvam. So once the dance transformed from the social scenario to the temple culture, then we started to do the Kautuvam for God. But long back, the Kautuvam meant only for the nature. For example, if you go and verify Silappatikaram, Nila Kautuvam is there. When Madhavi was doing a program in that Indira Vilda, the festival which one is conducted on Lord Indra, on that eve, she was performing a dance program. In that program, she performed the first item as Nila Kautuvam. But Elangovadigal says, Nila Padi, Nalvagai Budam Padi, Mayon Pani Padi. Then she started to do her regular performance. So Nila Kautuvam means, while they wanted to do the performance in the daytime, they have to appreciate the sun god first through Kautuvam. If it is in the program in the night time, they have to appreciate the moon god in the night time. So they are all the regular natural light to the world. So they do, because nowadays we are having a lot of electrical bulbs and electrical light system. In those days, they have to depend only on the natural lights. So if they are giving a thanks to the natural light, if it is in the daytime, they used to appreciate the sun. If it is in the nighttime, they used to appreciate the moon. A separate song is mentioned by the commentator of Silappatikaram. Adiyar Kanallar is giving the song on moon, right? So that then what is the next Kautuvam? Nalvagai Pudam Padi. What do you mean by Pudam? In those days, the entire society was divided into 4 major groups: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. In Tamil, Brahmana means Amdana, Amdanar. Kshatriya means Arasar. Vaishya means Vanigar. Shudra means Veladar. Even in a society, even today, we are having these 4 important classifications. Why? If you want to develop a place, you need to plan. So Brahmins used to plan the details. Kshatriya will start to execute the work. Vaishya will provide all the materials to that work. And Shudra are the laborers to conduct the work. So these are all the 4 people any society need to have. So you have to appreciate them first. Without that 4, you can't survive in a society. So if you are not going to give certain respect to them, then only you will be having a comfortable life in a society. So for that, you have to appreciate in your dance to the 4 people. So that is called Nalvagai Pudam. So every Varna is having its own god. The same thing went into the temple, then it became Navasanti Kautuvam. right? So without that social influence, you can't perform. Socially, you have to accept the social culture, because human, according to the sociology, human is a rational animal. So if you want to maintain your rationality, you have to cope up with your co-people. You need to have the coexistence in the society. For that, you have to appreciate your people in a society. Without that, you can't develop your any art form. So that is most important thing. So whatever the theme you are introducing in your dance item, everything sociologically influenced. Sociologically influenced. Long back, you are just appreciating the nature in Sangam age literature. Later on, you started to appreciate the king. Then in the medieval period, you started to appreciate the god. Then at the time of the colonial region, you started to appreciate the patriot. Now you are appreciating the cinema star and sports stars. So sociologically, we are changing our pricing attitude, right? Because without that social influence, you can't do anything in our performing arts. So the same system is there. Even in the king's period, we used to appreciate the king's sleeping. That is called the Kan Padaini, like what Kolgapiam says, the ancient Tamil grammar. If you are going to make the king to wake up, it is called Tuyil Yadaini, like. The same thing there in that temple, Palli Arai Padal, every day in the temple, after the Ardhajama Puja, the Archaga will take the Swami to the bedroom. There the people used to sing for the god, Palli Arai Padalgal, bedroom songs or bedtime songs. In the morning, we are evoking or waking the god, that is called Suprabhadam. Still we are maintaining. Even now we are practicing the same thing in our house. While we are making the child to sleep, we are singing. The same tradition we are maintaining. Either in the micro form or in the macro form, we are maintaining the same tradition. Because we are sociologically influenced by certain things. We can't keep away from the social influences. Even we are maintaining, even for example, in our songs, we are talking about the casteism. For take example, Gopalakrishna Bharati's song, Nandanari is talking, I am a Pulayan, I am a Parayan. Why we are talking about the caste? In those days, socially, people are accepting the caste system. That is directly reflected in the poem. Normally, what is the meaning of Kaustubam? Another thing, Kavittuvam. Second one is, have you seen any temple? There are two types of gods in every temple. One is the Moolavar, another one is called Urchavar. Moolavar is not supposed to come out of the shrine, but whereas Urchavar used to come on procession always. How they are making the Urchavar? Whenever the festival started, they used to keep the Urchavar near to the Moolavar for 3 or 5 days. And both the gods will get the regular archanai. So the Moolavar to Urchavar, a binding thread will be kept, made out of thereby. So the Moolavar is transforming his entire power to Urchavar. Then after 5 days, then the Urchavar will be taken off from the temple and he will be kept on the procession. So the radiation will be equally distributed to the streets and everybody will get benefited. Then after the procession, we are not taking that idol directly into the temple. We used to keep the temple in a Vasanta Mandapa. Even today, that is called Thiruvidai Atripollugal. Right? Why we are doing that? It is taken from the king's sociological influence. Because you know Mallari in Bharatanatyam, right? What do you mean by Mallari? Mallari means you are talking about a firm of a king, that's all. That is the exact meaning of that word. Mal Arthal. Mal means the greatness. Arthal means you are appreciating immensely about the king's greatness. Do you know how many Mallaris are there? People are thinking only one Mallari. You people are doing only one Mallari, that is called Nadai Mallari in Gambhira Natte. Right? There are 5 Mallaris are there. Nadai Mallari is the last Mallari. First Mallari is called Kumbha Mallari. Second one is called Kodi Mallari. Third one is called Tirtha Mallari. Fourth one is called Daliya Mallari. Fifth one is called Nada Mallari. What is Kumbha Mallari? The king is on warfare. If he is returning to his country with victory, the local people will receive the king with a kumbham. For that, they used to sing. And they are having a different talam for that. Kumbha Mallari talam is totally different from other Mallari. So they used to give a separate talam, and by way of showing the kumbham to the king, and they are receiving the king happily to the kingdom. Because nowadays we are seeing the warfare will be completing within a day or two. In those days, it is not like that. In those days, a warfare will take minimum 30 days or 40 days. So 40 days, the king is out of the nation, out of his kingdom. After gaining the victory, he is returning back to his kingdom. So he will be receiving, or he will be received by the kumbham by the local people. That is called the Kumbha Mallari. Then, after entering into the fort, his own flag will be hoisted. Even every Republic Day and Independence Day, we are doing the same. The flag is hoisted. For that, we are having Kodi Mallari. Kodi means flag. By way of hoisting the flag, we are celebrating that event. For that, we are singing. Why we are hoisting the flag? Because where he went and won the nation, that country's or that kingdom's flag will come under his main flag. Even now, we are seeing in the Olympic Games. In Olympic game event, first, second, third prizes are there. First prize flag is in topmost form. Second, little lower. Third is little lower. The same system. It's a social order. It is a social order. So this is called the Kodi Mallari. Then he will be taking his bath, because the water will be collected from the sacred lakes, sacred rivers, and the sacred tanks, and he will be given a very good bath. That is called the Tirtha Mallari. Then in the war front, he was not able to eat very good food. So he will be given varieties of food, not only to him, to the entire army fleet. That is called the Daliya Mallari. Daliya means food. After taking all these things, the king will want to show his achievement to the public. What he acquired from that enemy's land. What are the treasure he brought. So it will be shown to the public in the procession. For that, it is called the Nadai Mallari. Right? So all these things were practiced by the king in the past. The same thing moved into the temple culture. Socially, we have to accept king of the ruler, then the god becoming the ruler of a society. So without that sociological influence, you can't perform. Whatever the number you are performing in Bharatanatyam, what do you mean by Varna? Varna means not a color. Varna means it is a quality of a human. That's why we were having 4 Varnams. Specifically, you are saying in Varnam, how you are classifying the Varnam, first half and second half. What you are saying in the first half? In that first half, you are talking about the greatness of the hero. Pallavi and Anupallavi. And Muttayiswaram, you are talking about his achievement. And second half, Yathikadai Pallavi and Sagitya Charanam, how you are going to like or how you are going to love him, you are putting in that Yathikadai Pallavi and Charana Sagitya. The same thing you are applying to the god and as well as the king. While it was with the king, it is known as a Perum Devabani in the past. Later on, it became Varnam in modern Tamil. That's all. Go and verify the Tamil grammar. What is Perundevabani? The same system you can see. Now, how you are writing the Varnam, Pallavi, Anupallavi, Mutayishwaram, Yettukadai Pallavi and Sagitya, Sarana Sagitya, all the 5 components are there in the Perundevabani. So without that sociological influence, you can't even think even a small thing in dance research. Because everything socially fixed. The content, the shape of the song, how many lines, how you are going to price, that is the same reason. For example, in temple culture, in the king's period, the poet used to do the Kautuvam. But whereas in temple culture, Devadasis used to do the Kautuvam. Because in a shrine, what is happening in the dark, no one is knowing. The people are standing outside of the temple. They want to know what is happening in the temple. What are the things are happening in the shrine, Devadasi will do through her hand gestures. That's why Devadasis are known as Kaikattigal. Go and see the Chola history and Pallava history. Devadasis are known as Kaikattigal. Through their hand gestures, they used to allow the people to understand what is happening in the shrine. So in the temple, for the god, we are doing Sodasa Upasaram. What do you mean by Sodasam? 16 type of Upacharam we are offering to the god. So everything done by the Archakar in the shrine, it will be communicated to the people through the Devadasis of their hand gestures. So everything is fixed in social order. So if you are not knowing a particular area of social system, it is not possible for you to conduct the research in that particular area of dance performance. Whether it is folk form of art, even for example, take example Odissi, how it came to existence. Long back it was known as Magari dance. Right? Who is Magarika in the past in the Odian culture? They are the young boys. They are all young boys. Even in that Odisha olden type of dance, in Magarika dance, the girls were not allowed. The same thing in Kuchipudi, girls were not allowed. People used to wear the girls' makeup and they used to perform as a girl. The same thing you can see even today in Kathakali. Because it is a social order. Males are only the performer. Females are not supposed to appear on the stage. It is fixed. Even for example, go and refer the Natya Shastra, what Bharata says. The hero can talk in Sanskrit, but the servants and the female characters have to talk only in Prakritam. Go and verify the Natya Shastra. That's a social order. How you are going to project yourself? If you are going to talk a separate superior language, you are known as a superior person. What happened in the British history? The dukes, the lords, and the king and the papal people used to talk in Latin. The other laborers and other industrial workers have to talk only in English. That was the condition in 14th century in England. That is the major reason for the revolution in England. The Lollard movement started in England because the people divided into two with the help of the language. Even in Tamil Nadu in the medieval period, the people, those who are talking the Sanskrit, they have been considered as a superior people. Even today. If you are going to talk in Sanskrit, immediately people admire you. They will appreciate it because that language is having some sort of important. People are considering that Sanskrit is a divine language. Only the God and the Devas used to speak in Sanskrit. So if you are going to speak in Sanskrit, you will be considered, you are so closer and so nearer to the God. This is the attitude we are developing in our society. This is also socially motivated. You are forming a drift between the people in a society through languages. So these two also need some social order. So without this social influence, you can't do any research in dance. So number 2 is over. Number 3, history. History is playing a very, very vital and important role in any cultural form. In that architecture or music or performing arts like Bharatanatyam, without history's touch, you can't do anything. For example, you are all doing Sabdam today, right? What is the old name of Sabdam in the past? It is known as a Salam Daru. What do you mean by Salam Daru? Whenever you are going to start the performance, you have to invite the local chiefs. Then you have to salute them on the stage. That is called the Salam. So you are doing that Salam Daru. You are saluting the guest. You are saluting the VIPs. That Salam Daru becoming Sabdam in Bharatanatyam. When that Salam Daru entering in the temple, that Salam Daru becoming Sabdam. Where we started this Salam Daru, if you are not knowing that history, it is quite difficult for you to understand the Salam Daru. It started in Silappatikaram. Go and verify the Silappatikaram first chapter. It is called the Mangala Vazhthu Kadai. That Mangala Vazhthu Kadai is starting with the appreciation of the local king Karikalan. Then Mangala Vazhthu Kadai ended with the same appreciation of Karikalan. So this is called the Salam Daru. Even in the Adavu system, long back we were using Makuta Adavu, right? Do you know meaning of Makuta Adavu? To whom you are appreciating, you have to show that Mudrai for that particular king and completed the phrase. That is called the Makuta Adavu. That Adavu now we lost in our Bharatanatyam. For that Makuta Adavu we are using Tirmana Adavu. Once we are completing one phrase, we are doing the Tirmana Adavu and taking the another story or another thing to explain. So the long back it is known as Makuta Adavu. Why you are using that Makuta Adavu? Every king was having a flag. Every king was having a symbol. Through that Makuta Adavu, you have to appreciate the symbol of the king. That's why every king, for example, Pallava means they were having bull. Chola means the tiger. Chara means bow and arrow. Pandya means fish. So in that Makuta Adavu, you have to complete. That's why in Silappatikaram, I want to tell one line. Madhavi was doing her maiden performance. That is called Arangetram. In that Arangetram, what Elangovadigal says, Vendiya Yellam Vilakkinil Punarthu. What do you mean by Vilakku? Vilakku means process of elimination. Vilakkudal means eliminating. What do you mean by Vilakku? Immediately commentator says there are 3 types of Vilakku are there. Padai Vilakku, Vendu Vilakku, Ur Vilakku. Please note these 3 things. If you are going to be a performer or if you are already a performer, please understand these 3 important points. Historically, it is highly important. What do you mean by Vendu Vilakku? In those days, if a dancer wants to perform in Chola kingdom, she has to appreciate only the Chola king. She has to eliminate other 2 kings, Chera and Pandya. This is called Vendu Vilakku. Vendu means king. Then Padai Vilakku means every king is being supplied by different regiments of armies. Even today in India, we are having 24 regiments. While you are going to perform in a particular regiment, you have to appreciate that regiment's achievement in your performance. You are not supposed to appreciate the other regiment's details in this particular regiment. You will not be appreciated. So that is called the Padai Vilakku. You have to eliminate. Third one is called Ur Vilakku. For example, if you are going to perform about Lord Shiva, if you are going to perform Lord Shiva in Mylapore, for that Sanchari, take some Mylapore story. Automatically, people will appreciate you because you are a dancer from remote area. but you are knowing the Mylapore history. So automatically people will give more claps. They will appreciate you immensely because you are performing the Bharatanatyam through your Sanchari. You are appreciating the Mylapore history, Mylapore temple, and Mylapore greatness. This is called Urvilak. All these things you have to follow it in history. If you want to know all these details without referring the history, you can't understand these things. So this is most important. So without history, because if you want to appreciate a king, you have to know the history of the king. His birth star, when he was born, his achievements, what are the warfares. You have to tell everything. So without knowing the history, even for example, if we are going to talk about our Indian independence, you have to appreciate the leaders in a chronological order. From Dadabhai Navroji, Mahatma Gandhi, Gopalakrishna Gokhale, and so on. You need to maintain the chronological order. Once you want to maintain that chronological order, you have to understand the history first. Even for example, you are all doing Margam today. Who invented this Margam? Tanjore Quartets. Sivanandam and Vadivelu. Where they got it? Before the Margam, in Nayak period, Nirupanas were there. Nirupana, a Margam form of Nayak period, it was having 16 numbers. It is quite difficult for the people to perform the 16 numbers, and at the same time, it is quite difficult for the audience to sit and watch. So, Tanjore Quarters minimized it from 16 to 12. Now what we are doing, from 12 to 6 we are doing. We are not doing all the 12. In our Arangetam, we don't have the stamina. No dancer is having the stamina to perform for more than 2 hours or 3 hours. In olden days, one Arangetam consisting of 3.5 hours. Nowadays, in 1 hour and 20 minutes, even before entering into the Varnam, the dancer loses her stamina. Even after the Varnam, she badly needs some rest and energy drink. It is highly essential, or otherwise no dancer can do the further items. So this is the condition. So without knowing the history, if you are going to conduct some research in the dance numbers, dance items, it is difficult. Then the fourth one is highly important, that is called ethnology. The ethnoculture is influencing your dance performance. Through that ethnoculture only, you are developing your costumes and makeups. Do you know that? In olden days, the Arangetram was having 3 sections. Pushpanjali, Jadiswaram, Sabdam, Kautuvam, first unit. Varnam, Padam, Javali, Gita Govindam, Tillana, second unit. Third unit, Korati Atam, Pamba Atam, Mailatam. Tanjavur School of Tradition, Tanjai Arunachalam Pillai used to perform all these 3. Right? If you want to perform a Korati, you have to change your costume. Right? For example, go and see the Kathakali. In Kathakali, you are not supposed to introduce more number of characters. It is not possible. Because whatever the characters you want to perform on the stage, you have to give some independent person for that character. That's why in every Kathakali program, there are only 3 or 4 performers only. Because everyone is a character. In Bharatanatyam, you can turn around and start to say you are a hero, and at the same time you are a hero. But it is not possible in Kathakali. Right? So for that, they are using the costumes. If it is a good character, they used to give the white color. If it is a ferocious character, they used to give the red color. If it is a romantic, pink color. If it is a negative character, black color. All these things, you have to get it only from the ethno influences. Even in a society, what you are all doing. Whenever you are going to talk about a sorrowful thing, you are having the black flag. black colored thing. You see the beauty, not only in our system. Go and see the globally. Even in the ceremonial thing of the Christianity, in that burial ground, everyone used to wear the black. It is a symbol of sorrow. Right? Go and see the Christian marriage. The bride is wearing only the white gown. Because white is meant for sacred. That's why in our sages, we are giving white color. So all the sages are having the white beard. Go and see the Brahma in our Purana. Brahma is sitting on a white lotus. Saraswati is sitting on a white lotus. She used to wear white colored sari. But Bharati written in his poem, Vellai Kamalathile, Aval Vittiruppan. Vellai Kalai Uduthi. Kalai means sari. So from ethnology, we are identifying the color. It is a traditional ethno system. Every color is having its own quality, its own meaning, its own shade of emotions. So without that, you can't. That's why your costumes also, even ethnology, according to the land, we are having the emotions. Do you know that? In the traditional Tamil land is divided into 5 major landscapes. Kurinji, Mullai, Marudam, Neithal and Palai. Every landscape is having a music. That music based on land-based emotion. Kurinji means union, only the happy music. Mullai means longing, only the longing music. Throbbing expectation. Neithal means irangal, lament. Palai means separation. Marudam means misunderstanding. All these lands based on emotions. The emotions produced through the local musical instruments. That's why every land is having a specific instruments. Specific percussional instrument, specific string instrument. And every land is having a specific raga. Kurinjipan is totally different from Mullaipan. So through these songs only, we are emoting or we are embellishing one's feeling or one's understanding or one particular scene's emotion. So this is called ethnology. You must understand why they are laughing. For example, even in that poem, ethnology is playing a very vital role. Because region is having its own language. Tirunelveli region language is totally different from Madras region. So you must understand regional dialect. Without knowing that regional dialect, it is not possible for you to do the Abhinaya. I will give you one example. How many of them are knowing Kutrala Koravanji? I don't know. Just even I will tell the songs from that Koravanji. The procession, in that procession, Lord Shiva is on procession. So Vasantavalli, the heroine, is seeing the Lord and start to appreciate the God. In the Chittar Yaro, Vindai Kararaga Vidayil Yeri Vandar. Who is he? He is just sitting on the bull. Who is he? How he is looks, appearance, Puyatil Nagam Katti, he is having the cobra on his arms. Kadutil Nanji Katti, he is having the poison in his throat. Kagam Anugamal Yengum Kadivetti. See the word Kagam. People are start to think, even in Kalakshetra, this song scored by Attai, she started to show the crow. Kaga means crow. Kaga Manugamal Engum Kadivetti. Still the students are performing the same hand gesture. Kaga. Then once I becoming the staff of the Kalakshetra, I saw this and immediately asked the people, how daringly you are committing this mistake? Kaga means not crow. In Tirunelveli language, Tirunelveli regional dialect, Kaga means poverty. So in Kutralam, that Kutralam being ruled by Lord Shiva, so in that area, there is no chance of poverty. Kagam anugamal engum kaadu vetti. There is no chance of poverty in that area. So he is the ruler, ultimate, the entire people are having that happiness. This is the meaning. There comes the crow. So this is the problem. So without knowing the ethno language system, because every region is having its own. For example, this is the month of Margazhi. People are knowing Tirupavai by Andal. In one of her Tirupavai, she says, Petram Meitunnum Kulatil Tirandani, Yangal Kutrevel Sayyival Era. What do you mean by Petram? In Tinaveli region, Petram means cows. Madugal, cows. She says, Lord Krishna, you are a cowherd. Petram Meitu Unnum. You are belonging to the clan of cowherd. So, without knowing the regional influence, regional language, the ethno system, even the music also, ethno music, because every region is having its own independent musical instrument. In general, you are using veena, flute, violin, and so on. But go to the region, every region is having its own instrument. Even the flutes are having different form, you know. According to the region, it is having different form. The regional old flute instrument was having only 5 swaras. Because it is a cowherd's flute. It used to play only the Moganam. That's all. Later on, we added 2 extra holes and started to play the Harikamboji. So initially, the flute was having only 5 holes. Go and verify the history. This is a ethno system. Because they used to prepare the flute out of the available material in their own land. So for that, how many holes likely to be needed, they used to perform and do it. So the instrument also changing according to the ethno influence. So in Bharatanatyam, we are using lot of ethno influences, not 1 or 2. Costumes, color, makeup, ornament, the song, the instrument. We are giving the special instruments, right? Special effects we are giving according to the land, according to the situation, everything based on ethno system. Finally, we have to come to that semiotics. What do you mean semiotic? Semiotics means symbol of hand gestures, signs. The primitive man was doing only the hand gesture. While he was communicating certain thing to the other society or other people, he was using his hand gesture. That hand gesture still we are using in our dance. There are 3 types of hand gestures we are using. But in Bharatanatyam, according to Natya Shastra, there are 2 types of hand gestures. One is Abhinayastam, another one is Nirtastam. In Tamil, we are using the meaningful astam. Third. Why it is called meaningful astam means because every astam is having lot of distribution. Right? Pataka means it is having lot of distribution. In that song, which distribution is given? According to that, you have to modify your Padagasta. Right? Padagasta means you are not supposed to hold your hand like this throughout the song. Not possible. Right? This is Patagam. So you are not going to show Patagam throughout the song like this. According to the meaning, if you are going to talk about the world people means you are using the Padagastam like this. So you are gently moving your hand. So this is called the meaningful hand. So Padagam is having a meaning. What exact meaning the poet wants to communicate through that Padagastam, you have to understand it and you have to execute it properly on the stage. So periodically Astam's meanings are changing. Periodically Astam's distributions are changing. Because we are using a lot of new things in our Bharatanatyam. For that, we have to create a space through our Astams. Because it is not enough what you have learned from Abhinaya Tarpanam and the Natya Shastram, that is not enough. So periodically, Assams are having a lot of new distributions. We have to incorporate. That's why I used to say once in 10 years, we have to rewrite or revisit the Assams. It is a compulsory one. In a language, once in 4 years, we are rewriting the dictionary. Likewise, once in 10 years, we have to rearrange and rewrite and revisit the Assam and its distribution and try to create a new form, new meaning. We are all doing only the Abhinaya Tarpanam details. Abhinaya Tarpanam, when it was written, how many years gone through? How you are still following blindly that Abhinaya Tarpanam? So Abhinaya Tarpanam is a great book, undoubtedly. It is a great book in those periods. After that Abhinaya Tarpanam, we actually crossed more or less 1,000 years. So according to the modern usage, we have to go with the hand gesture. We have to create the hand gestures universally. See, the traffic gestures are universally accepted, right? And go and see the deaf and dumb people's hand gestures universally accepted. So Bharatanatyam also is a tool of communication. Why can't we? We are not going to create a universal hand gestures for Bharatanatyam, right? So, for example, for your basic instinct, whatever the hand gesture you are going to do universally, people will understand. For I am hungry, just I am going to show my hand like this, people will immediately understand that fellow is hungry, needs some food. If I need water, I will go and show like this, automatically people will understand that fellow is having thirst, he wants some water, finished. So certain things we are able to make the people to understand universally. Why not in Bharatanatyam? So Hastas need to have lot of research, because semiotic system is more important, because that's the only language from centuries we are using, from primitive man to today. We are communicating many things through our hand gestures. Even if you are very serious, if you are very comedy, whatever thing through hand gestures you are communicating even without word. It's all right. Automatically we are saying through our hand gestures, whether it is important or it is easy thing to follow, anything and everything through hand gestures we can do. So hand gestures are playing very big and vital role in Bharatanatyam. It needs more number of research. It needs more number of explanations. So these are all the 5 basic pillars for Bharatanatyam artists to do or to conduct the research in the area of Bharatanatyam. One is anthropology, second one is sociology, third one is history, fourth one is ethnology, and fifth one is the semiotics. Without these 5 elements, you can't even think of a small bit in Bharatanatyam research. So just if you want to start your research, please understand what the other subjects are saying. Just to go and read the basic book of anthropology, basic books of sociology. That is, you need not going to do some mastery level in that sociology and anthropology. What it is, please understand. Now, how far it is going to help your Bharatanatyam? How far it is going to help for your research in Bharatanatyam? For that, without knowing this, even for example, even if you are going to conduct research in Bharatanatyam Sahityam, all the 5 elements have to be analyzed. Or otherwise, it is not a full-fledged research. So, these are all the basic 5 elements. If you want to conduct the research in Bharatanatyam, please refer these important areas and come to the research and try to select your research topic. If so, you will be giving a very good contribution to the field of Bharatanatyam, and you are making the next generation to understand what the Bharatanatyam of this generation. Right? Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Sir, just a second, sir. I'll remove your spotlight and open the floor for questions. Amazing. So I find Uma ma'am raising her hand. Please go ahead, ma'am. Ask your question.
Thank you very much for arranging such a wonderful, wonderful is what a small word, and opening there's so many avenues. So no question, many questions are answered today, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Because you may be senior to me, because my humble pronouns to you all, because I am a basic researcher in Bharatanatyam, so that if my words are properly received by you people, really I am thankful to the Lord, the Almighty. Thanks. Thanks.
Anyone having questions can please unmute and ask your questions.
Hey, Bala vandirukada. Good.
ஆமா வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம் வணக்கம்.
எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா
ரொம்ப
இருக்கேம்மா.
சந்தோஷம்.
இந்த திடீர்னு உங்க போட்டோ
இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிவா
பார்த்தா அதனால
இருந்தது.
தான் உடனே கூப்பிட்டுட்டேன். ரைட்.
ரெகுலரா உங்களோட ஸ்பீச்லாம் கேட்டுன்னு தான் இருக்கேன்.
Thank you ma. Thank you.
சின்ன சந்தேகம்.
நமஸ்காரம் சார்.
நமஸ்காரம்.
Can you please wait? Let Bala ma'am complete her question, please.
Yeah.
Ma'am, please go ahead, ma'am.
It is correct to repeat the same topic in PhD.
No, because if you are going to talk about the same topic, means the approach may differ. For example, if you are going to conduct research in Tyagaraja Kriti, means there are only 464 kritis available. So how they are approaching that kritis, there you have find the difference between the research differences.
Yeah.
So I am going to talk about what are the simple. For example, recently what happened in Madras University, Vaishnavism chair is there. There Gayatri Kamakodi did her research. She did her research in Dikshadhar Kritis, the Vaishnavic principles.
Yeah.
The same university in the music department, Gayatri Grish did the research, the Sagityam and Ragas aspects of Dikshadhar Kritis. So the common topic is Dikshadhar, but how they approach it in a different way, we have to accept. Because for example, in Shakespeare's drama, there are 640 PhDs are there. 640, because some people wanted to talk about the feminine characters in Shakespeare's drama, male character, sub-character, and historical details or mystical details, supernatural element, how he described the nature, his importance of sonnets. That is your own idea, because only 36 dramas are there, that's all. How you are approaching. If the approaches are different, you have to honor them for their different approach. Very simple.
But the title itself is the same.
Because what we are doing in our research, we are giving a broader headlines. Because a Shakespeare drama, research, this is the broader topic. Then once you are going to come down to the final synopsis, we are pinpointedly giving the separate topic with the main topic. In general, it is applicable there. We are giving the same general topic, research in Shakespeare's drama. Finished. In that preface, how they are having the difference in their approach. If there is a common approach, it is penalized. It is highly condemnable. But if it is having a different approach, definitely you have to appreciate, and the university authorities will not find fault with that.
Thank you, sir.
It happens. Yeah.
Time for next question. Please go ahead.
Namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am Shubham. I have just completed my master's and I am looking for PhD now. And so I am a very newcomer in this field. Actually, sir, as you said, my English is not that good. Please forgive me for that. If you can get my point. Yeah. So actually, I am also I also want to do PhD on Hasta Mudras. And that's why I just want to get your help. So how can I get you? Can you just tell me, because it's a very long
you are going to do the research on Briju Maharaj, right?
No, sir. Hasta mudras. Hasta mudras.
Sorry, Hasta Mudras,
And-
right.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you have to go with the history when it has started. Right from the primitive man, the Hastas they used for their communication. First thing. Then wherever we are using the Hastas, there are three independent divisions are there. One is meant for communication. Another one is meant for mystical power. That is called mudras. Mudras for mystical power. Third one is called mudras for architecture.
Yes, sir.
Shilpa mudras are different.
Yes, sir.
So go and read the origin of mudras first. Origin of mudras, when it has started. What is the importance? What are the significance of the mudras? Why they started to communicate through the hand gestures? What is the reason for it? Then you have to come to dance. Whatever the dance you want to do, whether it is Kathak or Odissi or Kuchipudi, whatever it is. Just please understand what is the purpose of hand gesture. In those days, people used to do the hand gesture for their ritual practices. Even today in South Africa and West Indies, they usually do the lot of hand gestures for their ritual practices. So you have to classify, this is the practice for performing arts, this is the hands and mudras for ritual practices. Don't mix the two together. It is always danger. So one of my students is doing a PhD in mudras.
Actually, my concept is also likely the same. I just want to work on the spiritual values of mudra, because dance is also
the major problem, if you are going to talk about the spiritual level of mudras, means there is the scale.
yes, sir. Actually, because
There
dance
is the
was
scale. Because, for example, spiritual means it is relatively changing. Right?
yes.
Relative, because you may get very powerful spirituality in you. I may not have that. It's a relative term, like the taste of a salt. You need extra salt to taste, but I need a minimum salt to taste. So how can you able to fix the common scale to that? So whenever you are going to conduct a research, please talk about the general topic of the hand gestures. If you are going to talk about the spirituality, after gaining your PhD, write a separate article. Before, if you are going to do the spiritual thing in the hand gestures, it's quite difficult because your great professor may not knowing what is spirituality. The examiners may not have the belief in spiritual. Then what do you do? Because I am not believing the Nataraja in dance. Right? This is my theory. So I am not believing the because dance is related only to the human, not to the divine. My simple opinion. So if you are going to talk about the dance and Nataraja are same, if you are going to produce a thesis and if you are sending it to me for evaluation, what I used to say, I will return the thesis fully. So you just use the hand gesture for your research topic and complete the research, the purpose of the hand gestures, periodically how the hand gestures are changing, the distributions are changing, what is the purpose and so on. Then you can associate the hand gesture only with the limitation of the Bharatanatyam or whatever the dance form you want to perform. After that, if you want to, after gaining the PhD, you are having a voice to talk. You are having doctor and so on so. Automatically your voice and words will be absorbed by many people. Then you talk, these hand gestures are having mystical value. Then try to give a separate article. While you are doing your PhD, people may not understand what is mysticism. Finished. You will not be completing your PhD. Because the mysticism, divine, all these things are relative terms. It is not having a fixed scale. Right? This is the problem. So, apprehensive, don't go. If you are going in that way in research, you are going to stuck with the problem. It is always a problem. Don't do that.
Yes, sir. That's why I wanted to consult, because I have also the same thing, and so many people still told me about this.
Your idea is right, but in generally, we are not accepting the mystic details. Even in theology, we are talking only about the philosophy, not the miracles of the God. Right? Even in Tiruvasagam, in Thevaram, we are talking about the theology, socio-philosophy of the saint poets. but not their miracles. Every saint poet conducted lot of miracles. We do not want to research on that. Because how can we believe that? For example, in Tyagaraja Kriti, Tyagaraja says he was able to see the Rama. How can I able to believe that? It is based on faith. It is the faith of Tyagaraja. If I am not having that much faith, I am not considering Tyagaraja as a great poet. Right? So that is the reason, if you want to conduct the research, please conduct the research on facts, not on faiths. Faiths are relatively changing.
Yes, that's why I wanted to go behind the science behind the Hastamudras, because
Fine, that's
that's
fine.
why the Shodashopchara in temple. So in temple we also use the ritual mudras. That's why I want to go behind that, because it is something related to temple too much.
Yeah, the Sodasa Upacharams, all the 16 Upacharams started only from the king's court.
Okay.
Then only it is sublimated to the temple. It is started in the king's court. Go and verify the Tamil ancient grammar Tolgapiyam. It says all the 16 Upacharams are mentioned in Tolgapiyam. Once the dance moved into the temple, all the Sodasam also moved from the king's court to the temple. Right? That's why I mentioned about the Mallari. Right? So you can go and verify the Tamil ancient grammar. You can get all the details.
Yeah, it is something
if you
new for
need
me.
some doubt, please ask me anytime. I will help you.
Yes, sir. It is something new for me, because I was thinking that dances come from temple to court.
No, but no, from society to the king's court. That's why in those days dance classified into two major categories. In Tamil, it is known as Vetiyal and Podiviyal. Vetiyal means dance for the king's court. Podiviyal means dance for the common public. After that only it is moved during the Bhakti movement. Because in Sangam age we don't have any temple at all. In Sangam age we were having only the palace. Kovil means in Sangam age means palace, not temple. In Tamil, Ko means Raja, the king. So from the king's palace only it moved to the temple culture, right? But
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Katya Shivani.
Okay, I'm online because my daughter wants to take something.
Sure. Please.
Yeah. No problem.
We are moving to our next question. Shivani ma'am, would you like to ask your question, please? Did I pronounce your name properly? I'm so sorry.
Perfect. Thank you. Vanakkam, and first of all, I would like to thank you very much for your explanation. It was very interesting, and with this deep knowledge, that's amazing to listen. And I know that you're just scratching on the surface.
Okay, so, thank you.
Thank you so much. As I read in the chat, a lot of participants would like to have your contact details, if possible.
Even you put it in mail or otherwise in the WhatsApp, I will give the answer. Because even some of them are not able to hear properly. The voice is breaking. Right?
My voice is breaking?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why if you are going to put it in WhatsApp, ask that number from Lavanya ma'am and send it to me. I will give you the answer immediately. Whatever the question you are having. If the voice is clear, I am ready to answer.
Great. Thank you. Actually, my question is rather a statement that as I'm a foreigner or non-Indian especially, we have also some non-Tamilian here, that we found a lot of basic literature like Natya Shastram, Abhinadapanam, Abhinavagupta's explanation. So, and each and all give us a different direction or a part, maybe. You also mentioned that Bharatanatyam is part of the 8 classical dance forms, but as you also mentioned that Kathakali is one rule we have in Bharatanatyam, we have solo performances. So all this is, how to say, a confusing thing in the, especially when you start dancing, especially if you're a foreigner. So what I'm missing, and one point more, we are taught and learned a lot of items which are fixed in the choreography, we get the mood and we get the translation of that far everything is fine. But actually, I feel that the links in between all these sources are not there. So we become a little bit like a dance robot. I don't want to blame anyone on that because I love this art and I also do a research work on that. So, but what I feel is that the link to the source is very, very low in a lot of places where it is taught, as you said, that the example of the crow. And so that there are differences and knowledge is lost, and it's so difficult to get all this knowledge. And how do you see, how can we as researcher, as the people who have this experience, the stalwarts like you and all these wonderful people here now sitting, I don't know not every one of you, so but all of you who have the knowledge, how can we bring it together? And I know there's a lot of different perspectives as our people who are searching and researching, finding different aspects, and we have all these problems that we actually don't know and don't understand the full value of these dance forms.
Yeah.
This is more a statement than a question, actually. Sorry for that.
That's right. This is a major problem in every culture. Because what happened during the Bhakti movement in between the AD 500 to AD 1400, that period is known as Bhakti movement of South India. During that period, what happened? We started to convert everything into the religious aspect. Everything, even your language, your practicing of arts and music, and performing style of arts, dance and dramas, everything converted into religious aspect. And we have been conditioned for the past 1500 years. We have been conditioned because if you are going to think about the music, it is meant for God. And we started to give a lot of musical instrument in the God's hand. Krishna means holding the flute. Saraswati means holding the veena. All these we have been conditioned for many, many years. That's why if I am going to talk minus mysticism, minus divinism, if we are going to talk about the performing arts, no one is accepting it. But that's the reason I used to say, without that 5 elements, anthropology, sociology, and so on, I never ever mixed the divine and philosophy and spirituality in dance form. Dance meant for communication. My humble theory is dance meant for communication. The communication style is different from person to person. Why the difference? Because that person belonging to the different area, according to that area's influence, his communication style is different. So we have to follow only the human science. We have to follow only the human philosophy. Don't bring any divine philosophy into it. If you are going to bring any divine philosophy, what the divine philosophy you are saying, that may not be acceptable by me. So the dance is meant for only to the human. It is only meant for the mankind. It is exclusively for man's entertainment, communication, skill, and grace. That's all. So don't think of other things. Just you start researching in this way, you will find a lot of wonders.
If I can add something, actually it's mentioned like this, if I'm right, in the Natya Shastra, that it is given a tool to the humans to understand what is actually what is coming to life, or what is life all about. And the divine form is performed by Shiva and Parvati and Indra and so on, who have their own dance form, maybe together with the Apsaras. And as we are not able to understand that because it's too much, even Bharata Muni mentioned that we are not able to understand even one rasa. So if we go into deep, then it is made to make us understand what it's all about, the life. So a very human thing, actually.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Shall I go to my next question, sir? This is a question on my chat box from one Miss Santoshi. Can a dancer become a researcher even if they are not enrolled in a university or study performing arts as part of their course?
No, it is possible, but in Indian universities, they are not recognizing that type of research. It is some of the foreign universities are recognizing it. But in Indian university system, it is not. We have to work under a guide. That guide has to be affiliated in a local college or local university. Then only your research and your degree is recognized. Right? Once you are getting that recognition through that, then if you are going to write lot of paper, that the paper will be appreciated and accepted by many people. The initial degree you have to go with the university. No other way.
What is it possible for people who are non dance, how to put across, if I have not have if I don't have a degree, MA degree in Bharatanatyam or MA degree in any dance, will I be able to continue my PhD?
Some of the universities are permitting this type of research. Not all the universities. Some of the universities still is giving the permission. If you are just having the qualification in dance, even not having any degree or post-graduation, if you are having a performance aspect, that will be assessed by the examiners. And if they are willing, they will allow you to conduct the PhD program in Bharatanatyam. It is there in some of the universities in India.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The floor is open for questions. In the meantime, I will go over the chat. Anyone wants to ask question, can please unmute and ask.
Because 3-4 minutes by 8:15, I have to go and sit for another session.
Namaskaram, sir. I'm Nandini Krishna. I just wanted to ask a very simple question. The relevance of Chandran and Suryan in our jewelry.
In our?
Jewelry, Bharatanatyam jewelry.
Yeah. Because very simple, Amma. Because both the things are giving the natural light. Right?
Okay.
People used to worship and accept the natural light. Before finding the lamp, before finding the Kuttuvalaka and that all, they were depending only on the natural light. In the daytime, they have to depend only on the sunlight. That is the reason. Go and see the Jain philosophy and all other philosophies, even in the Vedic principle. Before the sunset, we want to complete all the work. So in the daytime, we are depending on the sun. In the nighttime, we are depending on the moon. In order to recognize the two lights, we are using the Surya Prabha and Chandra Prabha on our head.
Okay, so it's nothing to do with the two halves of the body.
No.
Okay, thank you.
This is the problem. Because I will tell you one thing, whatever the thing, if you want to tell, I will give you anything in philosophical interpretation, but naturally it is not so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Chitra here. Sir, sorry, I missed the part of Nadai Mallari. So could you just explain it, because I couldn't hear it because of the network issue.
Mallari, there are 5 types of Mallaris are there. They are known as Kumbha Mallari, Kodi Mallari, Tirtha Mallari, Daliya Mallari, and Nadai Mallari. So Kumbha Mallari means by way of receiving a person or a king or a god, we are holding the kumbham in our hand. That is called Kumbha Mallari. For that we are having separate song, separate nadai in Vadyam, in the percussional instrument. Then Kodi Mallari means hoisting the king's flag or the temple flag. If it is a Shiva temple, the bull flag will be hoisted. If it is Vishnu temple, the Garuda flag will be hoisted. If it is Parasakti, either a lion or Trishula. So if it is a king, according to his own kingdom, what the symbol he is having, that flag will be hoisted. At that time, people will appreciate. Even now, we are having flag songs in our patriotic songs. For example, Bharati, Thayin Mani Kodi Pari, Adai Thalndu Panindu Vanangida Vari, Ongi Valarndador Kambam. This is a flag hoisting song. So this is called Kodi Mallari. Third one is called Tirtham Allari, the god and as well as the king used to take the bath in the holy water. For that, people used to bring the holy water. They will pour the water on the king's head or the statue's head. That is called the Tirtham Allari. And Dalyam Allari means varieties of foods will be cooked by the people and served to the entire people. What we called it prasadam in temple. This is called the Dalyam Allari. Then finally we have to see the final one is Nadai Mallari. Through their achievement, they wanted to prove the society what they achieved. That is called the Nadai Mallari. So but nowadays we are not doing all the Mallaris except in Nadai Mallari. In Bharatanatyam, invocatory song, we are using the Gambhira Natai only for Nadai Mallari. That's all.
So, sir,
In Kandagiri. Huh?
So, sir, the Nadai Mallari means like a procession, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
procession. Because the king
okay.
wants to prove his achievement to the
Show.
public.
Okay, okay. Thanks a lot,
Right,
sir. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Thank you.
Many thanks, sir.
Thank you, ma. Lavanya, wound up panlama?
Or one last question, sir.
Okay, ma. Kelma.
Sorry, sir. Sir, I'd like to ask if there is any book from which I can study Tamil social structure, because I have read a few articles about the structure and substructure of Tamil society. So is there any book which is simple? This is a question from Saurami.
Yeah. Dr. A. Dakshinamurthy's book is available. Tamildar Panbadu by A. Dakshinamurthy of Pachapas College is one of the best books. Even that book is recommended by the many university scholars. That book is there. Tamildar Panbadu. It is available in the market. You try to search in the website. You can get it through the website also.
Sir,
it is available.
Is it in English?
Tamildar Panbadu.
It's in Tamil, I think, right, sir? For
It is
Saurami.
in Tamil. You want in English?
English. Yes, sir.
It is also there in English.
Okay.
It is also there in English. The same book translated into English. It is there.
Can you please repeat the author?
Dr. A. Dakshinamurthy, former professor of Tamil, Pachapas College, Chennai. Dr. A. Dakshinamurthy. Thank you.
There's a question where we can get history of Tamil's dance.
It is available with me, even it is available in the Amazon system. Even if you just apply them and get it, or otherwise, how many copies you need, please tell me, I will send it by courier. No problem. It's a pleasure.
Namaskaram, sir.
Ma'am, can you please be very quick with your question? Sir has another meeting to attend. Go ahead, ma'am. Reena Ashok, ma'am, you have somebody was asking a question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
a lot.
ma'am. Thank you. Pleasure
Great
is
session
mine.
indeed.
I'm
Great.
really happy.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pranams to
Thank you
everyone.
so much, sir.
My wishes.
Thank you so
My
much.
Pongal wishes to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nandri.
Thank you, ma'am. Nandri.
Thank you.
Katya ma'am, I have left my number in the chat box for everyone. Whoever wants to communicate to sir, you can please post your questions. I'll be very happy to be the bridge.
Thank you very much.
Lavanya, you will be sharing the recording,
Can the number
right?
be shared
Yes.
on the ICDA group if it is possible?
Yeah, I am there on all the groups. So
Okay, thank you.
yeah,
I would like to thank you, Miss Lavanya. It's a wonderful thing what you did.
Thank
It's
you.
really a great job. Thank you.
Thank you all for
involved-
attending. You know, I was so scared. Only 20 people attend a session and I'm
But
so
if
happy.
you can
Overwhelmed.
arrange one more, we would really appreciate that.
Sure, definitely. Is there any specific topic you want?
I had a question where Sir said that it was not the temple which saw the Bharatanatyam, it was the court. So if he starts from that topic, I think we will reach out to what I think we all have a lot of questions, and that will start up with the topic.
Excellent. So I'll do one thing. I'll discuss with sir and ask for a discussion session rather than his lecture.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it'll
Wonderful.
be like we posting our questions and he will be answering our questions. Will that sound good?
No, he should talk more rather than our question. He should just start up with his knowledge, and I think a lot of our queries will be answered.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lavanya.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Really,
Miss Lavanya.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Here.
Pardon?
Hi, Lavanya.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Tell me,
just
please.
now, Madam, Mr. Raghuram sir is talking about the Mallari. It's actually cool. So maybe we can have one more section to explain about the 5 Mallari varieties.
Sure. Sure.
Especially as to know if they are still performed or not.
Yeah, because
As he said, we have only this one. Yes.
Only one Mallari, yeah. Because now I'm doing my own composition, Kumbha Mallari, with the Nadaswaram and Tavil.
Oh.
So actually, I want to ask him a few questions, but it's a very short period. All right, Amma, we keep on other sections and can get more information.
Sure.
And yeah, it's a very nice. And Kodi, Tirtha Mallari, Variyam Mallari, it's really very interesting. Actually, if we know the elements and histories of the items, and easy for us to compose and get the real stories and elements of the dance.
Sure. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Lavanya.
Tell me, ma.
Hi, Akka. My voice is so bad today, so I asked you to ask something.
The question was answered, right?
Yes, yes, Akka. Thank you so much. It was a great session. I mean, it was a great session.
Thank you for making this great by attending, man. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I was
Akka.
the same, and I'm very amazed by that more than 80 people actually attended the session.
Yes.
It's all because of your hard work. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akka. It was very useful.
More of us are more looking forward for the research category right now.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
the need of the hour. Thank you. Thank you so much, once again.
Thank you. Sir's
Thank you,
videos are
Akka.
available on YouTube. A lot of videos. Like if you are Tamil speaking, you will be able to, because he talks about so many texts. So if you want to go and visit YouTube, just Raghuraman sir, and like recently I got to hear about Tolgapiyam, and so many other texts. Beautiful it is. They are very beautiful.
And yeah, one more thing. I have attended so many webinars before, as the topics were very good, like Silapadikaram and so many things. You were taking full series, but they all were in Tamil language. It was, if you can arrange in English, that will be very much helpful for us, all
Sure.
of us.
Sure, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. I understand the language barrier. So definitely, I'll try to get people who can talk about all these things in English. Probably ask sir for one more session. We will get all the high flown language and then the translation and the various interpretations. We will get from sir only.
Yeah, actually, it's the same for all non-Tamilian, and there are so many dancers all over India who are practicing Bharatanatyam, as well as a lot of practitioners and foreigners. And so following the Tamil is very difficult, so I understand only Sapatu.
you will be surprised to
No,
know.
only if it is a speak and they say to stop it, it will start. So I know I'm safe and get
You are not
some.
alone. There are a lot of Tamilians who don't understand Tamil, so don't worry about all those things.
I am a Kannadiga. I also don't follow much. Don't worry.
Yeah, see, it's very difficult. In the beginning, I always said I'm dancing blind because I don't know what is the meaning all about. My teacher will give it to me, but